Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We are in progress over here on Netflix. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. I'll be monitoring that and giving y'all updates in case you decide to, zone out or whatever. But
yeah, we can actually hear it.
I know I need to try to figure out how to turn it down. But
I've got mine on my third monitor, so
yeah, right.
Meanwhile, I do not.
I mean, this is a fight that I've been so skeptical. There we go. Finally got it turned on. This is a fight I've been so skeptical and dreading because I don't know.
Well, if this was Prime versus Prime, there's no chance. No chance Jake Paul makes out alive.
Right.
And this dude is such a piece of shit. All he ever does is fight washed up athletes. Most of them have no boxing background.
Right.
And when's he going to fight a real fighter in their that's in their prime?
Right.
Jesus, what a joke.
It's
just because they're making money doing it this way that they keep doing it this way. So
yeah. Well, I mean, they're laying up potentially easy targets for him to swat down or something. But y'all jump in the workstation after the show and watch the fight. Yeah.
You think that's going to last longer than our show?
Yeah.
There's other fights on before it, so we don't even know exactly what time it's going to start.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's not going to start. That's why I just have it over here running. I doubt it'll even start until like 10 or 11.
Well, they got a belt fight's going on right now. Just getting ready to start.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Barrios versus Ramos.
Oh, okay. Maybe that'll be a more entertaining.
I just want to see Jake Paul fight somebody from Mexico. Like, they produce the best boxers. So supposedly he said he's going to call out Canelo Alvarez for a belt fight after this. I think these guys will just laugh him off the freaking stage. Like, we ain't fighting you. Like, you ain't done shit, brother.
Right. I mean, the stats are like staggering. He has like, what, 10, 12 fights versus Tyson's 50?
Yeah.
It's like, good grief.
I was watching highlights of Tyson, and this one fight came up where he knocked the dude out on the first punch. It was crazy. Like, dude threw a couple punches. I think Tyson threw one punch, missed, and then connected with a second punch, and it was over. Lights out.
Yeah. Right. And it's just, that's how I think this is going to go.
Yep.
But I don't know. Who knows? They could try to throw the fight or something. Who knows?
Yeah. If Tyson had never went to prison, he would have been hands down the best boxer of all time. Hands down. I mean, Muhammad Ali didn't get a super punch out. No.
Yeah, Derry's back.
Welcome,
believe it, Pam.
ADHD theater, folks.
Yes,
now that we've talked about boxing.
Yeah, he's Dixon, he's Derry, I'm Zombie, and we're going to talk about whatever the hell we want.
That's pretty much how it is. I mean,
just trying to get the introductions in there.
Yeah, you did good. I was delayed on
back,
that
Derry.
For sure.
Welcome back, man.
Good to be back. Good to be back.
We definitely missed you.
As you can see, have you watched all the movies we've watched? Like, after
there's
each week?
One or two I didn't catch, but yeah, for the most part, I didn't watch Trapped or whatever it is.
Oh, that's probably the best one we've watched.
Well, and I didn't because my wife wants to watch it, so I saved that.
Okay.
But yeah, I watched pretty much everything else, and then, obviously, like, I cried like a baby back bitch until we watched Salem's Lot, and then I missed Salem's Lot. Pissed me off. So bad.
Well, no. So did you watch it?
Yeah. I watched it. I thought it's good. It's a good version of a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
They changed some big things from the book, which I don't think needed to change, but at the end of the day, I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I like Lewis Pullman, like everything that he's been in that I've seen. So he is the main guy, Bill Pullman's son. Like I like a lot of the stuff that he's been, because he's he's on the show Open Range on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Plays one of Josh Brolin's sons. He was in Top Gun. He played Nerdy Bob in the latest Top Gun movie. But he's been in some other things, but I like him. But some of the stuff they changed, they didn't need to change. But at the end of the day, it was a good movie. But I went back and watched the original too, because like on Max, it showed the new one and then the original, like for other things you can watch. So I watched it. I mean,
what did you think about the original one then?
Just I wasn't a big fan of it.
Really? Okay. So it was an even worse adaptation.
I don't know if it's worse, but just the age. I don't think it's one that's aged all that well. Plus, Hollywood back in that time, other than Carrie, probably Christine, like those late 70s, mid to the mid 80s Stephen King movies. A lot of them weren't that good, even to the late 80s. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. Just I didn't think they needed to change some things. Plus, they made that kid a little more commando than he was in the book.
Yeah.
That dude who was like, "Oh yeah, this is what's up."
We called him Little Blade.
Yeah. The one thing I didn't like too about the movie is I wish they would have left more mystery to the vampire.
Okay.
Because they show him very early in the movie. Like Straker.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like leave more like in my scary movies, I like more mystery. Okay. And I feel like they showed that way too early. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they should have made it a little more mysterious and maybe gave you about half the movie before you saw him. But yeah, it was good at the end of the day.
Pull up the rating system. We're gonna make him rate it.
All right.
We're gonna have just a show of Derry back doing the backlog, just rating them.
Here we go. Just wait till my fucking ratings for these two this week.
Oh, I'm sure.
You
did pull it up.
So to me, solid 3.5. Interesting, the movie had good execution. I mean, it has great source material to roll off of, but I couldn't say it's probably more than very good. But I was entertained the whole time. Like, would I recommend somebody go see this? Yeah, like, especially if you're already subscribed to Max. Like, don't go buy Max just for this one movie, but there's plenty of other shit on there you can watch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, it's not good enough for me to like buy, a streaming service for a month, which I never would for one movie anyway. I'd just go rent it off like Amazon or something if I was that hard up to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3.5 probably.
Fair enough. I think that's around what we rated it too.
Yeah.
We're on average about a 3.5 show.
Well, that average is going to take
too.
a dip. Let's just go ahead and put that out there.
Good.
So we always do like to do a little segment, what you watching. So is anybody watching anything new?
Yellowstone just started, so I watched the first episode of season 5 part 2. Without Kevin Costner, I think they did a pretty good job of like wrapping up his storyline. So I wasn't a big fan at the very beginning of the episode.
I was straight pissed.
Well, but then when they went back and told the 6 weeks leading up to it,
right,
that made it better by the end of the show for me. Because I was like, why are we starting off with this? Like, this just seems... it
was so abrupt.
Yeah.
Just the fact that, John Dutton, guess what? Oh, no, it's bad news.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? No.
Kevin Costner's sumbitch ass just walked away, like left them with no choice. So whatever they were going to do was, I mean, you can't restrict a show down like that down to what, like 3 weeks to shoot. Like his demands were so stupid. Like for a show that's that big,
Yeah, I don't know.
The guy's got an ego problem. Still a great actor.
I don't know. I disagree. I don't think he had his passion project that he wanted to go chase.
Well, I get that.
Turned out to somewhat be a dud, at least according in theaters. But
well, like I've said before, Westerns just aren't ever going to be the big money maker that they were. And
definitely not.
Younger kids aren't as interested in Westerns and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. Horizon, the first part of it, I liked it. It's a beautiful movie. It's a little slow and a little bit hard to follow the storylines at first, but I mean, I don't fault him for making that. I mean, he's always been into like stuff like that, like Dances with Wolves and all that.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, I really dig it. I'm waiting to watch it until probably Horizon 2 comes out, and then I'll just watch them both.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a 5-parter, I feel like two parts is a good enough lead to then revisit.
I don't think he's gonna get the other parts done. He sunk $50 million of his own cash into that first movie. Yeah, and I don't think studios are gonna, unless it turns a corner and starts making more money. I don't know if you're gonna get 3 and 4 at least done.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
it's rough when you're trying to pursue a dream and no one's backing you and all that. So I hear that, but
finished Penguin today.
That's one I haven't started yet. I'm really wanting to, though.
I recommend it. I think it'll lead right into the Batman, whatever it ends up being, really well. Penguin's he's dope in that show. Like that character's such a good version of Penguin, in my opinion. So
yeah, Colin Farrell's done a really good job. You couldn't even tell that it's Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
First of all, so
every once in a while his eyes have like a Colin Farrell look, but that's it. That's it. Like
he gets that Farrell look to his eyes.
I mean, that dude's crazy.
Yeah.
So how soon after the first film does this show pick up?
It's within a year. I think it might say during the first episode. I can't remember.
I thought it was pretty much right after.
Yeah.
And it's going to then lead into Batman 2.
Yeah. So Crown Point is like one of the big neighborhoods, like where the seawall broke and it flooded everything.
Yeah.
And one of the main characters is a teenager. He sees the seawall break when the Riddler blows the all the whatever the fuck you call it. And so like they don't have power back on yet to that part of the city. Like it's just crime ridden and destroyed. And so I mean it's very soon after.
Yeah.
And then it's over probably the course of a couple months, I would say the show is. So I would think that the Batman 2 is probably going to be set pretty close right after it, which there's some rumors floating around this week that Matt Reeves wants to do Hush or is doing Hush. I don't know if there's any.
There's several different theories that one is Hush, one is Court of Owls, and what was the other one? Heart of Ice. In other words, like a Mr. Freeze, and then a One Bad Day, which is obviously the Joker, because there's been teases of the new Joker actor, which
I think they gotta leave the Joker alone for a while.
Yeah, I'm not too excited about it. It's one thing to tease him through the glass of an asylum cell because you can settle on a different look. Like you can have one look in your head, and then you don't have to commit to anything right away. Yeah, because in this he's still sporting his scars that Heath Ledger had across his face. So it's like, I don't know about that. And I also don't really agree with Court of Owls.
Well, they already foreshadowed Hush in the Batman, because I think it's when he's inside Arkham and the Riddler like has that, I think it's a projector, and he's flashing up like images or whatever. It actually flashes up the name. There's an article about the guy who ends up becoming Hush. And so that's already been foreshadowed in there, which I think would be a really good, that villain fits this more like realistic and gritty universe versus like a Mr. Freeze or a Clayface or something like that. Like Hush is literally a dude that gets plastic surgery, like not somebody who's made out of clay.
Yeah. I don't think they should do Clayface at all, because they are very, very much trying to ground it in real life, but I would be open to it. You know, some sort of freak accident that happens to an actor, you know, if they took the Matt persona and not one of the other Clayfaces.
Yeah. I've always wanted them to do Victor Zsasz. Like in these more realistic Batman universes, Victor Zsasz,
he's the most realistic
serial killer. Yeah. Right. I mean, and I almost feel like the Riddler that they did was more Victor Zsasz-ish than actual Riddler. Like
I don't see Victor Zsasz in that role.
Well, I'm just saying where he was just murdering people the way he was murdering
that's fair.
people.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like Riddler's he's
more of a crime boss, like an MO.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, he's a different kind of crime boss. He's just strategic and poses questions, puzzles and stuff like that. So
yeah, if you would say, Zodiac killer,
right,
I wouldn't think of Riddler. I would think of Victor Zsasz.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I would think Riddler because I feel like he toyed with the cops
a
lot.
Did.
Like,
yeah, I mean, there's probably certain things that resemble Riddler in that. I don't know. I just it wasn't the Riddler that I would prefer. And then they did him dirty at the end of the movie when he takes off his mask and he's just like, "Hey there, guys! Make sure to like my video." I'm still not a big fan of that decision.
It was terrible. But that's the one thing that I disagree with Matt Reeves about. It's like I did not care for that portrayal.
He's an incel, like just whatever.
Yeah.
Make him evil. Like he is evil, but make him seem evil.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, it was good to have a far departure from Jim Carrey, but it was still, it went too far the other way.
Yeah.
It was more like a woke Riddler, like, why don't you guys like me? Crying and all that.
But I just saw on my phone season 2 of Silo dropped today, so I'll be starting that probably tonight.
I'm really excited about that one. I really like the first season, so it's gonna be good, I think.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like other than that,
I just finished up Blacklist, and my mom wanted me to rate this, so let's see. Where is it? Come back. There we go.
You should have this on tap somewhere.
Well, it is. I just leave it minimized. I just have to.
You search for it every time.
It's part of the share screen and all that stuff. But so Blacklist, my official rating. She says, "Be nice. Give it a 5. Okay.
But is it a favorite?
Overall, it was a good show.
So 2.5.
Overall, it was a good show. There were parts that I liked, but there were parts, especially as the internal writer, the former writer in me, that it just, like, I wouldn't have taken it that way. I would have gone a different direction. I think it should have done this or that or the other thing. That's my biggest rub with the whole thing. Yeah, I say 4.5. Yeah, or 3.5. 3.5. No, 4. 4.5. 4 stars. Yeah.
Damn, we just rode the roller coaster.
I
there.
know.
Woo!
So I think it was one of those shows that it started out really, really good and strong.
Yeah.
I almost think they could have done a few less seasons of it.
Yes, definitely.
Like it was just, hey, it's a moneymaker. Let's keep putting out. Like it started out really strong.
Totally.
And then the quality, I mean, it dropped in my opinion. It wasn't like even the later seasons were better than a lot of shows' first, second seasons. So
yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
I think they just made it a little too long.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. I would have ended at season 8 or 9 when a certain character bites the dust. So that was like, I don't know. I felt like this character should have taken the reins and continued the blacklist and things like that, rather than what they ended up with.
Yeah.
And another big thing that bothers me is that they never quite answered the main question of the entire show. They never quite do that. They definitely don't come out and say it. They give hints along the way. So you just sort of have to come up with your own conclusion. Like, okay, this person is that person's dad or not, or whatnot. I'm being vague on purpose.
This person is that person's person.
Yeah, right.
I mean, at least it's not the same ending as St. Elsewhere, where you watch this entire show and then all of a sudden at the end it's, hey, it's some autistic kid's vision in a snow globe that was this entire show. Like, I probably would have ate a shotgun shell at that point.
I was gonna say Lost was also a pretty rough ending.
I have never watched an episode of Lost.
The first season was really good, but then I think they got like way crazy with it, and they just tried to outdo their last crazy, and it got away from them.
So it's One Tree Hill, basically.
I've never seen One Tree Hill,
dude. That show, it started out as like a teeny high school drama, and by the end of it, it was the craziest freaking show on TV. Like, I didn't even watch it like episode by episode, but I just remember like all these years I forgot it was even on TV, and then all of a sudden I started finding out like what was going on in the last few seasons, and it's like, what the fuck happened to this show? Like it's like a CW show. It's like this was a CW show, and it just went off the rails. It's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I finished that show, and I was trying to figure out what to watch, and I started to watch a show, but I stopped it because I think it was a little too violent. And my kids were hanging around upstairs within earshot. So I'm like, maybe I should save this for another time or sometime with earbuds. Cause I mean, they were going nuts with it, but it was The Wire. I've never seen that show. And dude, every single person in that show is someone that we see now in any Law and Order type show or anything. I mean, they got Chicky from Tulsa King. I mean, it was nuts. I could go on forever. I know I did with my mom when I was messaging her about it. I was like, literally everyone's in here.
Oh yeah, it's tons of like well-known people,
and of course Idris Elba. So,
so we do have an update on Tyson versus Paul.
Yeah,
Ralph Macchio and William Zabka have been spotted sitting next to each other.
Oh,
literally, just saw them.
and for some reason I had it up, but if I'm not like playing it shuts off the screen, so it's annoying. I just want it to be running in the sideline.
It's still just that one fight. It's like the 6th round of that one fight, so no one really cares right now.
Yeah, the only fight I really care about is Jake Paul. So I just really want to see him get destroyed. That's all. That'll be a good day in my opinion if he just gets knocked.
I mean, I've seen some of Tyson's training videos, and everybody's like, "Oh, he had health concern." He had a health concern about an ulcer. Like anybody can have a fucking ulcer,
right?
Seriously, but they're like, "Oh, it's because he's old." Whatever. Like, I had an ulcer in my 20s because I drank 24/7. But like, he destroys people. Like in the training videos, woo,
dude,
I'm trying to.
He's still throwing heat. His training partner was like, like,
and he's just the perfect amount of crazy.
Oh, like, definitely.
Like he's not so crazy that he's always out of control, but he can go out of control in a second. Right. Like, I ain't trying to mess with that dude. So
no, definitely not.
Nope. Well, should we talk about these gyms that we watched?
I did squeeze in an extra movie.
I did too.
I watched Greenland.
Oh, okay.
On Max. I don't know if y'all have seen that one or not.
Yeah,
is that a Gerard Butler one?
Yeah,
is that Greenland?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I'll have to watch it.
It was all right. It is kind of your typical, doomsday, end of the world, something's going to hit the earth movie. Shit goes wrong, then shit goes right, then shit goes wrong, then shit goes right, and shit goes wrong. It's a back and forth the whole movie.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for my wedding ring.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh. Dustin's in trouble.
Oh, here it is. There we go. Anyway. I watched Speak No Evil, the one with James McAvoy in it.
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. It was actually, it was interesting. Not much else I can say about it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I enjoyed it.
What platform is that on?
It's not on a platform just yet.
Oh, okay.
My friend found it on the back of a truck.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have that.
Yeah. He sailed the seas and managed to get something. I mean, I've watched several things like that. Depending on what we choose is going to be, what I do for the next one too. But I finished
catch it.
Pepperbox, Vox Machina.
Oh,
what is this, season 3?
Haven't even started it.
It's over. It's all done.
I haven't even started the last season that came out. Or no, I did, but I only watched like 3 episodes of it.
Yeah. Yep, it's all there. The latest season is all there, and it's really good. I won't spoil it for you, but I enjoyed it.
Always enjoy that show.
Heck yeah.
And If you want a better version, go back and watch the old episodes of Critical Role season 1.
I don't know where to find that.
I've seen all the episodes of it, so like of them actually playing the game that story came from. So
yeah,
it's decent. Like I just can't get like super into the cartoon because there's so much more that was so good that just gets glossed over. So it's like ruined me. It didn't ruin the show because the show's actually really funny and
Right.
really good, but it ruined me because there's just so much other backstory that's great. That obviously it's 120 episodes for anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours long. Like when you watch them actually play D&D together.
Yeah.
And then they have a second, the Mighty Nine is the second campaign, and it's another 120 episodes of basically 3 to 4 hour. So them sitting there for 3 to 4 hours and playing.
Are they all the same characters? Do the characters carry over, or is it all new characters?
Their characters from the first campaign show back up. They don't play them though. So like they'll run into them down the road when they're like they'll be like doing something else in the world. Like Marisha Ray's character, she's the druid. I can never remember her name.
Kiki.
Yeah, so she ends up being like much higher in like the druid order.
Okay.
And the one big tree, when they do the travel by tree thing,
yeah,
she ends up staying in that place, I'm pretty sure. And like, so their new group runs into all their old characters as they have grown and stuff like that, because years pass between campaigns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, they're doing the third campaign right now, and I'm like, I'm 50 episodes into it, but I think it's at like 100 right now, like where they're putting them out. So it'll be wrapping up here in the next like 6 months too, probably. But
that's interesting.
It's just hard to commit 3 to 4 hours every week to just that one watching him play on freaking YouTube.
Which is why we try to keep our episodes short.
We're so good at that.
We kind of got fussed out for that too. Some long running times.
Oh, well.
Did we?
Yeah, we kind of did. There was some comments left on some of the older.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Older videos.
Yeah, I forgot about those. Because I just know recently we've been keeping them to an hour and a half at max for the most part.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour 40. But
well, before we get too far away from that, where is that available at, Derry?
So you can watch it on YouTube. So the show is Critical Role. That's the name of the show. So you can go into YouTube and look up Critical Role, and I think on their page they have it listed by campaign. So you can go back and watch from the very beginning all of their episodes. I mean, and when they started out, the production value was rough. It was literally just 7 people sitting in a room at like fold out tables. They had started the game in their home, in one of the people's homes, and they just all had game night where they would come every week. Well, then they talked to Geeks and Sundry about making it like a weekly show. And so then they launched, their campaign had already started when they launched their first episode. And what's funny is they didn't play D&D when they first started. They played Pathfinder, which is basically D&D 3.5.
Right.
But then they converted it over to Dungeons and Dragons version 5 because it just took off and got so big that then they converted it over. Dungeons and Dragons is bigger than Pathfinder by far.
Right.
Pathfinder is just a different system, like a tabletop RPG system. And it's based off older D&D rules, because some people did not like version 4 of D&D.
Yeah, no.
And they wanted to stay with version 3.5.
Yeah.
But then when they rolled out version 5, it fixed a lot of 4's issues for the most part. So somewhere in there, they made a decision to jump over to Dungeons and Dragons. And I mean, they've written their own campaigns. Like there's so much stuff that the Critical Role team has put together and put out there. Like they have their own basically world wild mount. There's an entire book that's basically all the lore and everything that you can build campaigns off of in the Critical Role world. Like it's pretty cool, all the shit that they've done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I know I'll be I'm trying to get someone because it's 50-year anniversary of D&D. So I'm trying to get someone from
Wizards.
Not Wizards, but someone who is like really familiar with the rules and is a really cool guy. Someone my brother-in-law recommended to me.
Oh, that's right. You had somebody in mind already.
Yeah. So I don't think he'll answer back, but who knows? But anyway,
we'll just email bomb him.
Yeah, I probably should follow up again. I mean, after all, Brian Flynn even emailed me back. Mm-hmm. So he's just like, "Oh, hey, I think this fell out off of our radar. Do you still want to do a follow up?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, okay."
I don't know. How let's make a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
A little quid pro quo, as it were.
Right. Pretty much. See, I'm going to need a couple things here. But anyway.
I was rifling through Super 7's sale on Big Bad Toys. Mm-hmm. Was it yesterday? Just to see if there's anything that I needed out of that group. But they didn't have... So I want the Megatron, the Super 7 Megatron. Even though it doesn't transform, I still want it. Like, when I posted my Optimus Prime online, like, so many people jumped my ass about buying a Transformer that doesn't transform. And I'm like, I never display a Transformer in the fucking truck mode or the automobile mode. Do I look like a fucking nerd? No. The robot's what's cool. Like, it had to transform, dare we?
Oh,
now I'm pissed.
Now they're showing a clip of the Karate Club.
Oh,
Cobra
the commercial. Yeah, for the show.
Yeah, for the show. Because they're just still panting in their corners.
Breathing heavy.
The fight is apparently going the distance.
Oh yeah, they most all go the distance now. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't want people like showing up and then having to leave after the second round. They want it to go the distance.
Yeah.
And then it goes to score. Like, put them sons of bitches in the ring and make them fight it out until one
comes out.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's how they used to do it, right?
Well, I was listening to Joe Rogan. I can't remember who was on that he was talking to, but it was last week. They were talking about like old school boxers and stuff. It might have been the Theo Von episode. And they're sitting there talking about these old school boxers. Like, there were boxing matches that went 200-300 rounds.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, like 7 hours long. Like, how the hell are you in there throwing punches at, 7 hours?
That's stamina.
Yeah. Like,
how do you train for that?
People were built different. I mean, this was like 1930s, 1920. Like, I mean, people were just built different back then.
Clearly.
Yeah.
All right.
They should put those rubber chicken squeakers in the gloves. That way, every time they hit each other.
After about one round, everybody in the audience commits suicide.
Well, I mean, it's about as bad as those toddler shoes with the squeakers in them. The parents get them. Oh, they're so cute, though. Yeah, right. They don't last a day. Trust me. You're ready to hide those damn shoes.
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, it's like, we'll go with the light up option.
Yeah.
We'll just stick with that.
Some BK British Knights, baby.
I'd made a rule when my kids were little because certain family members thought it would be hilarious to buy the loudest, most annoying toys for Christmas. So I made a rule. I said, all right, y'all buy something that takes batteries. You better be given batteries with that gift. So that made them, like, and I'm not talking about like a 2-pack of double A's. No, I want the big packs.
Right.
Kind of made them back off.
It's got to be at least a year's worth.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when that toy don't work no more, they ain't gonna be coming to me. I'm gonna give them a phone, and you can talk to them about it on the phone with them. Because they'll talk your ear off. The toy don't work. The toy's broke. I need you to fix
it. Good grief. Which one of these movies do we want to start with?
I mean, throw a dart and you're going to hit a turd. So,
all right. So I'll just say, let's do Vampire in Retreat. Sundown, Vampire in Retreat.
That's the one I would have picked to do first.
That was clearly,
it was
something.
Yeah, I mean, it starred David Carradine and a whole bunch of other folks.
I don't understand how some of these people were actually in this movie.
Everybody's favorite autoerotic asphyxiator, David Carradine. Oh boy.
I don't know. From watching Kung Fu, The Legend Continues, the Kill Bills and stuff like that.
Right.
When I saw he was in this, I was like, what the hell? I mean, he's not like an A-lister or anything, but come on. Like, Bruce Campbell fits more, but
yeah.
This is kind of his silly horror genre, but
that was the whole reason it was suggested to us. That's a suggestion from good old Jessica. She loves Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, yeah.
Oh, I love Bruce Campbell too. His charm could not save this movie. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
oh boy.
People who are big fans of Bruce Campbell, like, I just feel like they will be more invested in this because it has one of their favorite actors in it. I love Bruce Campbell, but he's not like near my favorite actor of all time. Like, just not in that conversation. And so it was honestly just a recipe for disaster.
It was very, very much in the vein of like that campy horror comedy kind of thing. Like, are they taking this serious? Are they not taking this serious?
As soon as they had the vampires freaking talk, or the vampire bats, as they're flying around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, what the crap is this?
So you get the little stop motion vampire bats, and each one of them like favors their human self. Like, one of them's got like the brown slick back hair, and the other one's got like the white beard and mustache. And so if you look closely, like when they're in bat form, they look like their human counterparts.
Yeah,
but I have an issue with that, because one thing I noticed, like, okay, in the beginning of that whole reveal of them transforming into bats and everything, whenever they transform into human from bat, they're naked.
Mm-hmm.
So like they're full on human naked, right? And then later on in the movie, they're not. It's just, they're like, they go from bat back to human, and they have clothes on. Okay.
Yeah.
That was one thing I caught.
Well, I noticed that one of the characters said, "Hey, where are you going? You don't have any clothes."
Yeah.
Meaning, like, what do you mean? You're going naked? And he clearly intended that.
Actually says that, which kind of leads me into my thing that don't pull it up yet. So we get this really bizarre scene of like he's not even like the main antagonist vampire of the movie. He's just kind of like one of them in the group that's like, yeah, we prefer the old ways, so this is what we're going to do or whatever. So we find out that he has history with the human family that we get introduced to in this movie that is called to this town in the middle of the desert. That's a vampire like hideaway. Like they're trying to turn it around. Like they're not,
Purgatory.
trying to be blood sucking vampires anymore. They're trying to make a blood substitute. They're giving it a really good shot. They've got a factory. They're making a blood substitute, which, by the way, this movie kind of, I think, I don't want to say pioneers some of that stuff, but this movie came out in like 89 or something.
Yep.
Was there even, a vampire movie before this where the vampires used sunscreen or tried to make a blood substitute so they didn't have to feed off humans or anything?
I don't know about the blood substitute. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know about like the
there's
sunscreen and stuff. Yeah.
There's things that we see later years in movies. I mean, hell, they did it in Blade, with sunscreen.
Yeah, and they did it. They did the blood substitute V in True Blood.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wondered, because it's hard to come up with an original idea or whatever. Was somebody that had seen this kind of like had that in the filing cabinet and like, oh yeah, hey, there's this thing, let's do this or whatever. But one of the things I found hilarious about the blood substitute was the color, first of all.
Yeah.
Most adults know what that really looked like, okay? But then the straws, did you notice the straws? Like the straw came up and then it like forked out and came up so it fit right over their fangs. I kind of had a chuckle about that. But let me get back to this scene here that I'm referencing, where this guy that has history with the wife of the human family that comes into town that's supposed to like help fix their machine that makes the stuff or whatever. So this oh boy, how do I even bring this up? When I saw this scene, I was like, what the hell did I just see? So this predates the whole Dick in the Box gag. So this movie had cock in a sock, if you will. Dustin, if you want to bring that up. So what you're seeing is not this man's genitals exposed on our show. It is a very fake cover that looks just like a piece of paper or something shaped around. And I lost it at this point in this movie because it's like crinkled and shit. It looks like it's really made out of paper. So I actually have that prop right here. It's no, so that's not any better, right? So no,
right.
This is supposed to be like a realistic take on Creeper from Roblox or something like that. So I don't know. You know me. I'm gonna play the joke up. We all kind of know what it looks like.
I got the matching buddy.
Oh god, I lost it at that point. And not only do we get that, but there's also in the same scene like. He's obviously trying to go after, this woman that he knew before he was a vampire and everything. And like the kids hear her screaming because he pops in the room like that, like you just saw.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he transforms back to a bat and he's flying around the room and the wife is screaming. And then like he's on top of her again in human form, and the kids run in and see this naked man on top of their mom screaming. This scene is total fucking madness. And then it cuts away from him again, and then he's back in bad form. So he's popping back and forth the whole fucking time. And I'm going, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, I think Pumira was just like, oh, okay.
So if you go back and you reference that scene and you look at it, he's, honest to God, he's not like fully exposed. He's covered, but it's not even like a convincing merkin. It's just like this paper sock that they taped to him. It's terrible.
Oh, with my dick in a sock.
Oh, I had to bring that up because, like, I couldn't focus after that. I couldn't tell you what the next scene was. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I mean, I get movies like having fun with themselves and stuff.
Literally having fun with themselves.
Yeah. It just either this movie, they weren't trying to do that, or they took it to a record-breaking level in a lot of areas. But oh my God, man. Just there's so many scenes in this movie where I was just like, what the hell? Like when the very first guy rolls up to the gas station with the 3 old men.
Yes!
And the dude just walks up and whacks his head off.
Right.
Oh, first of all, we see this jackass driving around in the desert, running shit over, like not even on the road or whatever. Then he's trying to take a bump of coke, and he's getting it all over the fucking place.
Right.
Everywhere.
Everybody knows you're more if you're doing coke, you're a lot more careful than that.
No kidding. I mean, I suppose it might have been cheaper back then, but still, it's a precious commodity for most folks.
I was glad to see his head roll across the ground. He was a dick.
Yeah. Come on, old man. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he was obnoxious for sure.
How about David Carradine's like constant wardrobe change? Like he goes from like this butler look to like, you know, this well-dressed, you know, count or whatever, to like cowboy to mobster. It's like he couldn't decide what he wanted to be in this movie.
Right. And of course the what was it? What was it the one guy said? He's just like he was talking about it's a 45 caliber, you know, and April totally misheard it and was just like, what did he say? And I'm just like, 45 wood. 45 is the size of the bullet in the gun. She's, okay.
Yeah,
she totally misheard it to something else. So
how about those wooden bullets, huh?
Right.
Fortified wood bullets. And they fucking showed one.
Yeah.
Had the wood grain and everything.
I mean, I'm sure it seemed like a good idea in 1989.
I guess. I don't know.
Sometimes I wish I could go back and watch these movies like when they were first released. So like we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only way I can truly be objective.
I mean, they had UV bullets in Underworld.
Yeah.
True.
So, I mean, how does that work? I don't know.
Yeah. Try not to dwell on it too much. But let's rate it, I suppose. No, I just ruined it. Where'd it go? Present, share screen, share.
Hey, don't pull mine back up.
There we go. All right. Derry, you want to start it off?
Tell us how you really feel, Derry.
Your unfettered opinion.
I'm going to go. I think I got to go 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bruce Campbell, like, I didn't get enough of his like sarcastic personality. Like, what makes him charming, I didn't get in this movie, which could have probably propelled it higher on my list. But I just, whether they were trying to be silly or not, like, I felt like it was silly when it didn't need to be, or it didn't make sense, was probably my biggest thing about the movie. There was some shit that was like Zombie was talking about that was just funny as fuck, the way it just turned out in the movie. But I couldn't rewatch this movie knowing that it's almost like shock factor. Like, those things were so out there that I can only watch this movie once ever and find those things as funny as I do now. Because I think somebody really was trying to be serious and it just didn't land. Like, that's my opinion.
I honestly think this was on David Carradine's mind as he was suffocating himself.
True.
And he's looking back, regretting all the things he did in his life. And this was probably one of them.
True.
Oh, boy. I mean, David Carradine doesn't really play characters in the movie he's in. He's just David
Carradine.
Yeah. So, like, you pick any movie or show that he's in, and it's the same tone. It's just about the same look. You know?
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of range.
No. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he was made for Kill Bill. Like,
yeah, for sure. He was brilliant in Kill Bill
by being himself.
Right. I wouldn't want him to be anyone else other than that. But I don't know.
Well, time to
Zombie,
put you guys
what about
on the
you?
spot.
I'm gonna go 2.5, only because I feel like this movie may have had some of those callbacks to for other movies that are a little more modern of our time that use some of the similar things that we see in this movie.
Yeah, an inspiration type.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's almost like they've got this movie in the archives of reference for ideas. And it's been, it was made long enough ago that maybe most people don't remember it, if anybody has seen this movie, because before last week, I'd never heard of this movie.
No, same.
So I think for that reason, I'd give it a 2.5. I'm going to go by the wording here, mixed feelings, flawed but worthy for that reason, for those ideas that are still in play.
Yeah. Which is the whole moderately insightful type, because it does give some inspiration, or conceivably gives inspiration to future generations that we have since enjoyed.
Yeah. But it's definitely got that terrible 80s acting where it's almost like while people are saying their lines, it's like they're saying them in different ways during rehearsal to try and emote different emotion from the lines.
Right.
So it's like, that shouldn't have been read that way.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I will also say 2.5. I wouldn't go above that.
Clearly not. No.
But I would not say it's soulless, because even though David Carradine is clearly soulless, I don't think the movie was.
Oh, I think Soulless is being too nice. That's why I wouldn't say Soulless.
Yeah, no, the movie as a whole is terrible.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun, watching these terrible movies and tearing them down.
Oh, yeah.
So, speaking of which, let's move on to Blood Vessel. So, this one was my suggestion.
Yeah.
Much like I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say it immediately reminded me of The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Which I don't know if we've watched. I don't think we've watched it on here, but
no,
I've seen it. It very much reminds me of that movie, and which was I found appealing. I was like, okay, this is cool, and it had its ups and downs.
I mean, this movie immediately reminded me of Overlord. So have either of you guys seen Overlord?
I have not.
So Overlord's it's a horror movie based in World War II around the Nazis.
Yeah.
And it's zombies instead of vampires, but just the feeling of it, the look of it was like, I feel like, I don't know when Overlord was made. This was 2019, maybe right around the same time. So maybe it was one of those things where it's like you get a movie that's fairly similar in premise and everything. But that's what it reminded me of right out of the gate. And I actually went into it like surprised because Robert Taylor, right in the beginning when they're in the boat, old Longmire's
he was literally the first.
Yeah. And so I actually, for something that I'm watching, there's a show on Netflix called Territory.
Yes.
Where it's like a Yellowstone type show, but it's based in Australia. He's the head of the family. It's really good. I watched the entire thing. It's really good. But I like Robert Taylor. And then the girl that was with them, she's in, not the young girl, but the older lady who's with them at the start, like in her 20s. Yeah. She's from Vikings. She was Ragnar Lothbrok's second wife, I think, in Vikings.
Yeah, that's where I knew her from.
I had to look it up because I didn't know, and it bothered me the whole
she looked
movie.
Familiar.
Yeah, and so I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, like, hey, we've got some acting talent in this."
Yeah,
and
I mean, when we pulled it up last week, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's Robert Taylor!" Yes, I will watch this movie because I loved him in Longmire.
Yep.
So, and then what happens, and it's like, dang it.
I mean, it's a vampire movie.
That was the whole reason we're watching this.
This is probably where my spirit was broken.
Yeah, right.
And the first part of the movie is they're shooting at a vampire. The one black dude is sitting there. Somebody has a machine gun and they're like shooting, spraying bullets, and they're not hitting anything. And I'm just like, I mean, I can get it. Like, somebody could shoot a machine gun and not hit a damn thing because they don't understand the recoil or something like this. This is a soldier shooting a machine gun, spraying it around, can't hit anything. Then that guy gets the black dude gets shot through the head, and I'm just like,
it was a chaotic scene for sure,
and it wasn't put together. Like, the things that happened didn't make sense in the context, and that's what annoys me. Is when you're making a movie, you have to understand, like, if someone's wearing a soldier's uniform and you throw a machine gun in their hand, they're probably going to have the person watching is going to assume they have knowledge of how to use it.
Right.
At least semi-effectively. Like, just, it's stuff like that just annoys the shit out of me. And I know people out there listening to this will probably be like, you're just a little too critical. Like, it was bad. It was fucking bad.
So the scene in question here is they've already found so they're let me backtrack a little bit. We're introduced to a group of survivors that are on a life raft, and it's bad, and then in the middle of the night, here comes this ship, and they're trying to get their attention. Well, they don't know it's a ghost ship yet, so, and then they realize, hey, there's nobody can see us or whatever, so they find a way to get on the ship, which they do, and then that's where our familiar face meets his end. Unceremoniously, whoop, overboard through the propeller.
Yeah.
But then they're raising all kinds of hell, and one of them realizes, we're making all kinds of noise, nobody's coming. Where is everybody? So they go through and they're finding all this weird shit. All the lifeboats are busted up and everything. They go to the I don't know, command center or whatever of the ship. The captain of the ship's got his fucking throat slashed and he's burnt crispy. And they eventually find this little girl, and she doesn't speak English. Some of the characters are bilingual, so they can kind of sort of pick out. She's saying something about family, and they're going through the ship, and they find this one door that's locked. They can't get in, and then one of them drops something or something, and they hear a voice come from the other side of the door. So this guy is obviously it's a Nazi ship, so it's a Russian ship. So he's speaking some type of broken German or whatever, and they can't really understand what he's saying, and he can't really understand what they're saying, and they're trying to tell him it's safe. And one of them kind of speaks German. They get him to open the door, and he freaks the fuck out when he sees the little girl that they found on the board, and he starts screaming and raising hell, and he draws a gun. It's super tight quarters. Our one guy who's a soldier that knows a little bit about the mechanics of the ship, who shut the ship down because the boilers were about to burst and blow up on them and everything. So the guy that locked himself up in a room starts shooting, so they start shooting back at him. Bullets aren't ricocheting off of stuff like you'd think it would be in a metal ship.
Right.
The black guy, who the only one that knows how to restart the boilers for the ship, ends up getting shot in the head. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It is a mess of a scene. I'll agree with you on that one. And they end up eventually shooting the guy that locked himself in, which is where they find some more weird shit, some artifacts and everything. And this one guy finds a box that's got like bits in it and everything. And then he finds another big ass box that's like the size of a coffin, which we later find out has the big bad vampire dad in it. And he was my reason for picking this movie, because he reminded me of a Mythic Legions vampire. He had great makeup. They had great makeup on that creature. You can't deny that. And I love the way that whenever those vampires spoke, it was definitely in like an old Romanian tongue, but the subtitles they used was like old English lettering. I love that.
That reminds me of Overlord too, because Overlord uses a very similar style of, like, I don't know if they do subtitles in the movie, I can't remember, but it uses a very similar type script for things that are written. And that reminded me immediately when I saw that of it too.
Yeah, no, but I loved the setup, that the way that they did with the those vampires, and we eventually find out, how the hell they end up on this Nazi ship, and you could hear radio chatter. There's ships all around them, and they're trying to locate this one ship, and they can't find it. But the way that they handled the like. You could tell they were like an ancient vampire race or something, and they had, some of the typical powers, like, they bite you, and then they've got like a shared blood communication type of thing, and he could control somebody once they were infected enough. And
Yeah.
I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Well, I mean, there was definitely a lot more upsides to this movie than I think the other one.
Sundown.
But I mean, you're talking what, 30 years between the two
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there were movies in the 80s that had good writing, that had good acting. Like this movie, some of the shit didn't make sense, but to me, it was more on how it was cut and put together.
Yeah. That's
versus necessarily just bad actors and stuff like that. This, to me, this was more, I don't know what the right term is, like just the execution from the, from a directorial standpoint.
Yeah, this one was definitely more well paced versus the Sundown movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying.
So are we ready to rate this?
Yep. Let's just get it over with.
What do you say?
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Zombie?
I can't call it good. Like there were, I'm total mixed feelings. Like there was some good things about it, but there was some things that it just lost my interest because some things were so fucked.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm I don't know. I didn't really think about this. I'm gonna give it a 3 because I did enjoy it. Of course, there was, like you said, Derry, there's things about it that doesn't sit right, but I can find stuff like that in every single movie that we watch.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with a 3.
Yeah, I will as well, because I did enjoy it. There were things that I liked. There were things like that Derry pointed out that were just completely weird and wrong and shouldn't have ever been done. But
so what I want to know is what are the rules after being bitten by a vampire in this movie? Because any of them that were bit by any of the vampires started to turn.
Yeah.
So what about the guy that ended up underwater? Like, is he a vampire mermaid now, or like that's the part that like I was like, okay, so what's going to happen to him?
Right.
I mean, you eventually sink low enough to where sunlight doesn't penetrate, the surface of the water.
Yeah.
So, and vampires don't have to breathe, right? Or do they? Or like, what's the rules in this movie?
Yeah, I would think it's kind of like a zombie because they're pretty much.
I mean, they're undead, so to me, that means they're not anaerobic, so they don't need air.
Right.
Like all they really need to live off of is blood. Like that's all I ever know about a vampire. So
I mean, fish have blood.
Right.
What happened to our guy that sank below the surface?
He's probably eating fishies.
Yeah.
And biding his time until technology can resurface him.
I mean,
or he sinks so low that he ends up freezing.
Well, and the pressure of the water.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just stuck down there. Like it's just gotten smashed against the bottom of the ocean. And he's like, that's terrible. Like I feel bad for him, even though he's a vampire. Like nothing freaks me out more than the fucking ocean.
You see one of those deep sea exploration things, and all of a sudden there's just this guy chilling on the bottom.
What do you think happened to that one with the game controller? They're telling us that their controller went dead and they imploded. It was the vampire guy.
There you go.
I can't remember what that thing was called, but
I don't either. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All of a sudden they're down there fucking around and they found out on the ocean bottom.
Vampire mermaid. See,
Yep.
I mean,
You know it.
There's your sequel.
Yeah. Write it up, folks.
2. Of whatever the name of that fucking thing was.
Blood Vessel
Okay, so
2.
this was made a year after Overlord. So that kind of makes sense that it's kind of made in the same vein.
I'll have to look that one up. You said that one was zombies, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
fantastic.
I'm trying to find it to see if there's somewhere we can stream it. It keeps telling me it's on Tubi, but I don't see it on Tubi.
It's the middle of the month. It might have been on there yesterday.
Oh, wait a second. I think they've changed the name of it. I think on Tubi it's called maybe. I don't know. This says Nazi Overlord. I can't tell if it's the right movie or not.
I don't think so.
Nope, it's not. Ugh. This is probably the cheap knockoff of Overlord.
Right.
Because I was going to throw that out there if I could find somewhere for us to watch it, but
yeah, which actually probably brings us to that part of the show, picking the next week's movies, which I was actually going to turn this over to you, Derry, since you're back. Like, what you want to watch?
Well, first of all, do we have any are we still following any kind of theme? Or are we all over the map?
No, we can do anything, anywhere.
Anything goes.
So I was going to try to pick something a little more contemporary. Well, Blood Vessel was fairly contemporary. It'd be more than this, but so I want to try to figure out if there's something that, since this was all kind of built around what has Dustin seen and not seen, and then poking fun at him about him growing up watching Buttercream Gang. So have you seen Running Scared?
Is that Paul Walker?
Yeah. I saw that one on Tubi, and it is a fucking crazy movie. There's a scene that me and Darth Burney literally rewound, pause, played, maybe 25 to 50 times the first time we ever watched this movie, or the first time we ever watched it together.
Yeah.
Now it's obviously not like fantasy or anything. It's
right. It's a action thriller,
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking wicked, but I didn't know if you'd ever seen it or not.
It sounds familiar. I probably have watched it. I just don't remember.
There was something else I saw in here too that I was going to throw out there. Damn it. This is why I'm supposed to write stuff down.
We say this every week.
Yeah. There was a movie that let me get out of here.
Well, I literally just had it up 10 minutes ago.
So I will say I did cheat, and I did squeeze in another movie. I did finally see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
Hey-yo.
I couldn't wait. I had to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know that was one you're wanting to watch. So what'd you think?
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. It was not the movie I expected it to be.
Okay. How so?
Well, I mean, even though, the spoilers came out and all that kind of stuff, I almost kind of thought they were going to go in a different direction. But they really focused on the TVA and elements of the multiverse more than I thought they would. In a different way than I thought they would.
Okay.
So it was a pleasant surprise. I didn't think it was terrible at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. It's just it went a different direction than what I had in my head, that I decided, okay, this is probably what they're going to do, because based off of other things that have come out right before it or right after it.
Okay.
And I was wrong.
Well, so it was good then.
Yeah.
So let's see. I had a movie, but I can't find
I'm about
it now.
to bash my own brains in over this. I literally had it up on the screen and then I clicked onto something else and
Yeah, I was going to look something up real quick too, and I forgot what I was going to look up.
Okay, so have y'all seen, there was a movie, hang on, where is it?
Oh.
It was in the top. Oh, no. It had the chick from Yellowstone.
Kelly Riley.
No. The Native American one.
Oh, is it the movie that's on Netflix right now?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I think
My wife actually said she wanted to see that.
Yeah.
We always have Meth Gator.
Oh my god!
I mean,
how does he keep his teeth?
I don't know. Maybe they're blowing the smoke into his butthole. I don't know.
So it looks like Thanksgiving is on Netflix. Thanksgiving's coming up.
True.
Just throwing that out there.
Just a movie called Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
That's a TV show, not a thing. Let's see. Where did it go?
What are you looking for?
Dang it. Well, I was trying to find a couple things. There was a movie on Tubi that I thought might be interesting.
Here, I'll find the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, and then the what's her face one on let's see. Movies.
I can't help you out at all with this. I don't know. I don't know what either one of you are talking about.
Well, I'm looking for the movie that he had said that has the chick from Yellowstone in it. It should really be like right towards the beginning of some of these.
Right, and I thought it was in the top 10, but it apparently has refreshed and
yeah,
is
it was
no
before
longer in the
I
top
left.
10. Let's see.
Sorry, guys.
Could always watch Fugitive.
Oh, I saw that earlier. I didn't in the one I'm talking about, but I think you and I've talked about that one before.
Yeah.
Such a good. Have you seen the Harrison Ford Fugitive zombie?
It's been
way
years.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
God,
it's been a while.
I'd say at the probably the most popular that movie was with us. My dad and I probably watched that movie once every 2-3 weeks for 2 years straight.
Wow.
That's probably how many times I've seen that movie. What the fuck is this movie called?
Isn't there one called The Marshal or something that's kind of similar?
Yes, it's based
Marshals.
on the same character.
It's based off of Tommy Lee Jones's U.S. Marshal character, Sam Gerard.
Right. Yeah, that's where I know that from.
Yeah, because Robert Downey Jr., that was one of the movies he did when he was in the middle of all of his trouble. Too, when he was going to jail for drugs and shit.
Not Tony Stark.
Have y'all ever seen Rounders?
I did when it first came out.
You got to give me something to go on. I don't.
It has Matt Damon,
Edward Norton.
Yeah, Edward Norton, John Malkovich.
How is this movie so good, but yet they took it off the fucking this so fast?
So I have one that I kind of came across that it was a suggestion outside of the show.
Okay.
You know, nobody that really ever watches us or whatever. So he says, you know, he tells me, so y'all do like what kind of movies? And I told him really just anything. You know, lately we've been doing horror because of Halloween, you know, but we do action movies, we've done comedies, we've done all kinds of stuff. And he says, okay, so the action movies. So like, you know, like James Bond type of stuff where, you know, the hero knows how to do stuff and he does everything right usually the first time or stuff like that. And I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, that's kind of how they set those movies up. He said, all right, well, I've got one for you that and he didn't even really call him a hero. He was just like, you're a guy, okay? You're a guy for this movie. Like there's this thing that happens to him and he's trying to go out and get revenge for this thing that happened to him. But he's not exactly competent in doing everything right, like they typically show in these types of movies. You know, it's kind of a situation where, like, would you know how to handle certain things if they came up, if this was happening to you? And the answer is no, we don't know how to do everything. You know, we would fuck something up. And the movie
is it
was
maybe
called...
Death Wish?
No. The movie's called Blue Ruin.
Okay.
And it is on Tubi.
Her name is Kelsey Asbille. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah, I'm so fucking stupid. I'm sitting here going through Netflix when I could just be finding this shit on IMDb. God damn it.
I cannot find it on IMDb. I mean, she was in Wind River. Oh, Don't Move.
Yeah, Don't Move. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Blue.
You said the other one's Blue Ruin?
Yes. So it says, pushed to his limits, a man returns home to Virginia in search of bloody vengeance, but he becomes embroiled in a battle with a dangerous family.
Huh.
That's kind of the synopsis they give of it. But, you know, my guy that's telling me about this, he's like, yeah, it's like it's not your typical like action hero. You know, like what was that? Like Last Action Hero, where shit just goes right, you know?
Right.
So I said, all right, well, I'll toss it out there if we can't figure out something.
Yeah, let's see. It's on Freebie.
It's on Tubi.
Yeah, it is on Tubi.
Yeah, I pulled it up.
Like I did.
I'm good with watching it. It doesn't. I mean, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say how good it is. Like the preview that they show on Tubi, there's like this guy asking him questions, but there's these two guys standing there, and one of them's talking about a gun or something, and he asks him a question, and he cuts to the guy that I guess is our main character, and he's like, I don't know. So.
I'm trying to figure out what the main guy, where I know him from.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been in something that he was in Oppenheimer. I haven't seen that though.
Yeah, I haven't seen Oppenheimer either.
So it says Macone Blair I'm sorry, Devin Rattay, Eve Plum, and Brent. I don't know. It cuts it off. Where's Zinny something? I don't know.
He was in Law and Order SVU. That's probably where I know him from because I've probably seen every episode of that show imaginable. Not for wanting to either.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's what movie is this? God. I'm pretty sure I've seen this. Just show me the fucking name of the movie. Is it called Murder Party? No. Can you show me the name of the movie?
No.
This is starting to piss me off.
Yeah, I just tried looking for Overlord, and all I get is Nazi Overlord.
The Hunt.
And
That's what I know him from. It's where all these people wake up like together in a clearing, and it's like one of those hunt you down movies.
Oh, interesting.
He's in that, yeah. Like they wake up, they're gagged, and they start loading up on weapons, and it's like, yeah.
Huh.
So Edge of Tomorrow is on Tubi.
Yeah, I just recently watched that.
Yeah, I've seen it many times, probably.
Lockout?
Which one's Lockout? Is that Stallone?
No.
No, Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
That's actually a good movie. That's a good movie right there.
So I also was going to suggest Goon or
the
Blob.
Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
Goon. Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen it, and I'm having trouble remembering it to rate it on IMDb. But the other one I was wanting to watch is Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon. Has Garrett Hedlund in it. John Goodman.
I don't know if I know what that one is.
Yeah. It's
07.
I remember seeing it in theater, and I really, really liked it.
I mean, I'm
but
good with that.
I can't find where it's streaming, so
oh,
I'm just saying we can. That was the movie I was trying to think of.
What's the name of it?
Death Sentence.
Dustin, have you seen Lockout? It's like a sci-fi action movie with Guy Pearce.
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm feeling that zombie. Have you seen it?
It's probably not since it came out.
It's been good. Long. I mean, I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, Death Sentence is not on anything free. It's all on premium pay services or
Maggie Grace.
Yeah, it's got Maggie Grace, Peter Stormare. Anything with Peter Stormare in it is an instant classic. Like that dude is awesome. The Replacer. Like he's doing all the Black Ops.
This sounds a lot like the Stallone one.
What? I don't think Stallone is in this movie, is he?
No, he's not. No. It's Guy Pearce.
It sounds like the movie where they go into like carbon freezing and then they come out.
Oh, you're talking Demolition Man.
Yes, Demolition Man.
No.
Yeah.
Well, because it says a betrayed agent with a grim choice 30 years later in cryo prison or a suicide mission to rescue the president's daughter from ruthless inmates. So I just read the 30 years in cryo prison and I instantly thought, oh, yeah, that sounds like Demolition Man. But yeah, I don't think I've seen this, so I'm down to watch it.
It's good. At least when I watched it in 2012, 2013, I thought it was really good. So.
Yeah, 20 years ago, it was pretty good.
We'll see how much that's changed.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I do think I recognize this movie because this movie has... Who is the kid that's running with him? Yeah, I'm on a different thing altogether. I'm just talking.
So what'll it be, boys?
I say we do Lockout, and then the one that's on Netflix. I already forgot what the fuck that movie was called.
It's like Get Out or Get Up or Don't Move.
Don't Move, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I missed that one. Don't Move, and it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one my wife will watch with me.
Sounds like a plan. Don't move.
Out.
I'm gonna need to write this down. You're gonna have to message this to me. I'm not gonna remember that.
And opening Messenger to send you.
Well, they're starting another fight, a women's fight. Puerto Rico versus, I don't know. Looks like an American, maybe. Oh, damn, that bitch has got a lot of belts. She got like 3 or 4 belts.
Which one?
The American. No, Ireland. Katie Taylor of Ireland. Oh, dude, Irish people, don't fuck with them, man.
Yeah, she's probably got this one then.
Yeah.
When you said American, I'm like, yeah, I'm going Puerto Rican on this one. And you said Irish, I'm like, nope, that totally fucking changes everything.
Yeah. Irish people are that crazy.
Yeah, well, they've only got three good things to do over there: drink, fuck, and fight,
and potatoes. Eat potatoes.
Okay, 4 things.
That's worth living, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What is she saying?
That's us.
She's saying Ireland. She's saying, yeah, that's us. She's
okay.
I'm surprised she would agree to anything on certain of those words that came out of your mouth.
You know what? I really like the same 4 things.
There's things that I can't even say right now.
Now we know how Miss Pam rolls.
Miss Pam, I would never say that to you.
Well,
I gotta stay number 1 in her book.
Nah, she knows I'm good.
She says, yeah, I overlook you boys sometimes.
Yeah. It's hard when I shine as bright as the sun, Pam. It's fine. Oh, man. Well, I guess we've accomplished everything.
Guys.
Yeah, that's definitely a show.
Tune in next week when we forget which movies we picked.
No,
True.
Dang it, I forgot to do this. Hang on. Add overlay. Oh, that's why I forgot to do this. Okay, I'll just do this. And
she's on a roll.
I'm surprised she's still watching. What'd you forget, Dustin?
That's funny. No, I forgot this, and where is it? So I'm going to share screen. Nope, I said share screen. Share screen. Share screen.
You got a comment on screen.
I can't unclick it. I'm in the middle of the sharing. Okay.
Well,
there we
I
go.
don't see anything sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, you were the one that put it there.
I know, but I couldn't click it. I was in another window. That's what I was saying.
I didn't know if that was preventing you from doing what you were trying to do.
Yeah. So tune in Monday for It's Freaking Figures at 10:30 p.m. We'll be talking about a little something about these guys.
Operation Monster Force.
Yeah. Good times. It was something to pick. I had to pick it.
No, it's a cool shot.
But yeah. I dig it.
I can dig it.
I can dig it. But anyway, let's see, 10:43, and yeah. All right. So, any last thoughts about anything?
Yeah, check us out Monday, like Dustin said. Come back next week, next Friday, where we talk about these two wonderful movies.
I'm pretty sure they'll be good.
They're not some of my typical horse shit. So.
Well, I can tell you right now, Lockout will at least be above 3 stars. So, for me, so we're already an improvement. I've heard that this other movie's pretty good on Netflix. So.
It definitely sounded intriguing. So,
and she's the most annoying character on Yellowstone, by the way, too. So,
yeah, I feel like it's a slow burn. Like, I want to like her, but she's so obnoxious sometimes. Yeah. Like, she's always like, oh, I just want to leave here. And it's just like, yeah, let's leave this awesome ranch with tons of everything you need, protection, everything you could possibly want. I just want to leave here. For what? Why?
I mean, when to be honest, her husband did kill her brother season 1, episode 1.
Yeah.
But no, she's a whiny bitch. Casey's like the coolest dude on the planet, and she's a whiny bitch on the show. Yeah. So,
but I did enjoy when Beth stepped up for her in that white bitch's store.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, no. If anyone's gonna pick on her, it's me, basically.
Yeah. Well, and she's gotten better over the years, but there was a time where I hated her character.
Oh, I definitely. Most definitely. I absolutely despised her character, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. It's like, I hate to say it, but man, someone needs to like either shut her up or shut her down type. Is like, man, obnoxious. But that's because I was all like, look at the Dutton Ranch. This place is amazing.
Yep.
But anywho, so yeah, tune in Monday. Tune in, stick around at 11 o'clock. I think
Pops is back.
I think Pops is back. I think he's back tonight doing something in Freewheeling Friday. And I'm sure he'll be sharing results and stuff like that as things come in, and same that we were doing. We were giving updates. But until next week, Thunder Nerds ho.